Well, Pocono produced another fuel mileage race that Prime covers masterfully, and Chase Briscoe proves that he can save with the best of them. Let's dive into an eventful Pocono race next on Racin-n-Braisin. Well, hi folks, welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ, a lifelong NASCAR fan and chef with over 20 years experience, bringing you plenty of news and analysis from each race weekend, as well as tips and tricks from my kitchen to yours. So thank you again for joining me here this time Sunday evening, coming at you right after the coverage finishes on Prime. Yes, our final Prime broadcast of the season, and I've been saying it, all 5 races so far. Boy, we have been spoiled as fans, and Prime did a masterful job yet again. Pocono today actually started off with a rain delay, which was, a little disappointing, but Prime did a great job keeping us entertained. They started showing their new feature called Earnhardt, and I have not dove into that yet, but I have been hearing good things about it. And I'm glad they did that because it gave all of us fans who haven't watched it yet a chance to get a little bit of preview of it. And it's really good. It's been done really well. I will be sure to catch up on the rest of that series here in the future. So let's talk about how the race played out. Stage 1, pretty uneventful, really short, only 30 laps. No cautions during that, so they ran green the whole way, and Denny Hamlin grabs the green and white checker. The end of stage 1 was where we started seeing the pit strategies and the fuel strategies and all of that start to play out in the race. With 3 and 2 laps to go in stage 1, we saw the first 10 to 12 drivers come down pit road, aside from the 2 leaders there, and they made their pit stops trying to flip the stage. And then, of course, during the stage caution, the rest of the field came down, and we saw all sorts of movement throughout that. And then stage 2 was, once again, somehow the way this season has been working out, stage 2 is where all of the action is occurring. This time, we got 4 cautions throughout. Most of them were brake rotor failure related, which was a little disheartening to see. You certainly don't want to see the guys lose their brakes because the hits are always really hard when that happens. And we definitely saw that happen with Bubba Wallace. They were able to capture the radio the moment that Bubba's brake rotor exploded. And he was quoted as saying, "Oh my God," right before hitting that wall. And that was definitely a rough hit. And you could see right away, he was just so dejected. What a rough weekend for that 23 crew. They had a fast car in practice, but like Bubba said in his interview, practice doesn't pay. I'm sure they're going to be ready to turn things around as we head into Atlanta next. All 3 2311 cars had brake rotor issues. We saw Riley Herbst with a rotor explode on the track. Tyler Reddick's team elected to actually bring him into the garage and do a brake swap. It was actually kind of smart. If the cautions would have fallen the right way for them, they only lost 2 laps, apparently, when they did that. So if they had caught good cautions in stage 3, there would have been a good chance that they could have gotten back on the lead lap and back in contention. I guess they had more brake issues later on and were not a contender through the rest of the day. So then that leads us into stage 3. Stage 3 started. It got stretched out right away, and I definitely had that thought, okay, stage 2 is like our normal NASCAR this year, so that must mean that we're about to get a long green flag run to the end. And we almost did, except when the green flag pit cycle started. We got most of the way through it, and then caution happened. Shane Van Gisbergen went on a solo spin, and that ruined Brad Keselowski's chances of recovering from an up and down day. He had made a pit stop error. He came in when pit road was closed early in the race, and they had battled their way back up into the top 10. And I certainly thought that the 6 team had the speed throughout the day to mount a charge at the end of the race. They probably would have been a top 5 team at the end of that race. But ultimately, what it did boil down to was a fuel mileage race for Chase Briscoe. On their final stop, which was under green right before that last caution came out, they did not get enough fuel in there. They were, in fact, 2 seconds shorter on fuel than everybody else that was making pit stops during that cycle. And when they told Briscoe that, I guess something kicked in gear for him, and he did a great job saving fuel. Prime did a wonderful job, again, covering in detail what was going on, showing us as much data as they possibly could. The fuel mileage gauge that they were using was awesome, definitely showing the comparisons throughout the field and showing that Briscoe was doing a fantastic job. He held off the best in the business at fuel saving, and that was Denny Hamlin. He created enough dirty air to keep Hamlin behind him and unable to mount a charge against him, and ultimately had enough fuel left over to be able to do a great burnout at the end of the race. So good race for sure. So let's take a look now at what that does for the playoffs. What that means, of course, now is we now have an 11th different winner this year and only 9 races remaining in the regular season. And if you look at the schedule remaining, we've got 3 road courses on that schedule, 2 super speedways, 2 short tracks, and don't forget about Dover and Indy in there as well. So all sorts of potential. And as we're looking at the list here, any one of these drivers, I think, are capable of winning any one of those races, really. And plus, like I highlighted on Thursday's episode, there's still other drivers that are not in this playoff bubble right now that could absolutely go off and pull a win out of their hat and bump some of these guys off. So it leads us to question, are we going to have 16 or more winners this regular season, which is going to make things really interesting, of course, with the playoffs. And that then leads to the further question, does that make Chase Elliott here and Tyler Reddick safe with more than a 100-point cushion right now with 9 races to go? They've got to win. I think everybody on this list here needs to find a way to win. It's not going to happen for everybody, of course. And I think you could definitely tell from the interviews throughout the day today, in the pre-race and in the post-race, everybody's aware of it. Everybody is focused on getting that win. Let's talk about how the picks played out for the regular season competition between myself and my mom. I had first pick this week, and I went with Denny Hamlin. So a good second place finish for me. Mom went with William Byron, which I thought was going to be a really good pick. But in stage 2, he kind of got caught up avoiding a little bit of melee in the back and was never really able to recover, ends up finishing 27th. So that now pulls me within 4 points in our regular season competition. So things are really starting to heat up, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how things play out as we approach Atlanta. So let's put this race, let's put the Pocono race on the thumbs up or thumbs down gauge. All right, guys, so let me know in the comments below by putting an emoji of a thumbs up or thumbs down plus a comment or 2 about what you think. Was this a good race or not? I'm going to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You know, I actually thought about halfway through stage 2 with as long as the race was feeling. I mean, stage 2 didn't end until 6:30 tonight. With all of those cautions, they felt really long and drawn out, and I was kind of getting disappointed the way race control was handling the length of cautions. From what I heard from Brad Keselowski in the post-race interview, they were doing 3 laps before opening pit road on most of those cautions, when normally it would just be 1. I'm not entirely sure why that was, probably based on where all of the debris was located, yada, 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 but that was the reality, and stage 2 was definitely feeling like a long section of today's race, and it was kind of getting me disappointed. But once again, Prime does a masterful job presenting the race, telling the story, and keeping the viewers engaged in the drama that was developing in stage 3 with the fuel mileage battle, and wondering really just if Chase Briscoe was going to be able to hold on, and we saw that he was. I thought it was a really, really good race, really pure race there at the end, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, we'll be keeping a running tally of things as the season goes on, and we'll talk about it at the end of the season, whether this was a thumbs up or thumbs down season. All right, guys, so that leads us to what is coming up next. Hot Atlanta is on the schedule, and yes, the Southeast is going to be under a heat dome all week long. So Friday and Saturday night action in Atlanta. Friday night with the Xfinity Series, Saturday night with the Cup Series, and the trucks are also racing next weekend. They've got Saturday afternoon action from Lime Rock, so a road course in the afternoon. That'll be fun. I'll have a preview video for you guys Thursday with all of the information that you guys need to know about the race weekend coming up from Atlanta and Lime Rock. Be on the lookout for that. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you know when that next episode comes up. Speaking of next episodes, as you guys can see here, my weekend menu involves some German food, and I've been putting together a how-to video for you guys. So make sure that your bell icon and notifications are set to all when you subscribe to Racin-n-Braisin, so you can catch the next cooking how-to video that will be coming out this week on Jaeger Schnitzel, one of my favorite. It's a mushroom gravy over fried pork. You guys will love it. Like I said, it's my favorite. So that wraps things up for us here tonight on Racin-n-Braisin. Be sure to leave a comment below about whether or not you thought this was a good race. I truly appreciate all of your contributions and your engagement with me here. And thank you again for joining me on Racin-n-Braisin. Stay happy.